Come on, honey, it's time for school.
But Mum, I don't feel well.
Oh, honey, you feel like you have a fever. Let me check your pupils. Oh, I know what fever this is.
Directly under the post, Loom form at dummy half. On to Marcus Marsh. Gives the ball out to Hasselman. Hasselman's got plenty of room to move to Schmoodle. He goes, the line, he's over!
Good footy, boys.
They had the numbers, Aberdeen. They had the score, but Schmoodle in a good dry part of the field showed great strength. And Timmy Bridge at dummy half. Long pass out the back to Jake Watts. Into Topless. Topless has found room to move. He's under the posts. Stone lead. 8-6.
Great job by Thomas ahead. A little change in direction again. We talked about it early. A little step off the right, then the left, and straight under the pace.
Yeah, just a change of direction and pace.
The defence came up hard, Bomber, and Dave Hayden Topless.
G'day there, and welcome to this week's edition of On the Couch with the Footy Fever team. I'm Matty, and of course Benko with us every Paul the Rabbit Benkovic. Mate, how you going, Chairman?
Very good, Matty. Great, great to see you again. It's been a fortnight since we were down there at Singo, and we were very busy last week. I don't know if you caught the show, but I was giving the referees not a spray next to Jesse Rudder here on the couch, but we certainly had a really good debate. Yep. I nearly said argument then.
No, you'd never argue.
No, wouldn't argue with Jesse. You don't. But we had a great yarn, and I hope it was great to see Jesse here, and he cleared a lot of stuff up in that regard.
Fantastic, mate. And look, it's always good to get people on the couch with the Footy Fever team. Did have a couple of guys lined up today. Got a bit lost in transit, so I'm not real sure where they are. We'll try and catch up with them next week, no doubt. But if you are keen to jump on the couch with the Footy Fever team, jump on the Facebook page, the Footy Fever Facebook page, and certainly we'll try and get back to you. Benko.
Yes.
Origin.
Well, what a performance! You and I spoke just before we kicked off this afternoon, and did anyone really see it happening? There's no way Brad Fittler saw or predicted in his own mind a 38-6, was it? No. 38-6 victory. And I was talking to a guy today, and I couldn't even find fault in one Origin New South Welshman. No. Couldn't find fault. They were all outstanding.
Mate, nearly the opposite to what we saw last week, or the last Origin, I'd say. Mm-hmm. Queensland v New South Wales swap tactics, didn't they? New South Wales definitely defended, attacked brilliantly. And I tell you, one bloke that stood out for me, didn't get a lot of raps, was Cook.
Damien Cook,
absolutely brilliant.
And I was texting a close friend of mine. We text during just about every footy match. He doesn't live locally, but I said, when Damien Cook is the key to the second half,
absolutely. When
he starts running, the whole defensive pattern has to change.
Absolutely.
They have to reassemble that quickly. And when he took off in that try in the second half, he just carved them up. Daly Cherry Evans, he was in two minds. Do I go in or do I hang by? He was just fantastic. But I've got to admit, on air for the first time, my wife knows it because I never shut up about it. I've got a man crush on Jake Trbojevic, mate. I have had for a while.
And who wouldn't?
Have had for a while because and I've actually said it here when we talk about the strong tackle. And I feel sorry for Jakey Trbojevic, but I've got a bit of a man crush on young Jake, and because I just love his defence, and I can't remember the last time he missed a tackle.
Oh, superb.
Absolutely, and he led from the front, fully deserved his Man of the Match award. And I also thought Tyson Frizzell's performance, and the whole pack was outstanding, and they led the way for the boys, as you said.
Certainly did. The dilemma Freddie's going to have, Clemmer's now ready.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? Going to bring him back in? Who does he put out?
Well, even Nathan Cleary probably will not be fit for the game.
Potentially.
So it's going to be very, very interesting. I would say there's a lot of us, and I watched the NRL 360 on Monday night, and Paul Kent and Buzz Rothfield, but Paul Kent didn't want to admit it, but they all were eating a little bit of humble pie, and even
as they should.
Even I said a couple of things. I couldn't believe Latrell Mitchell was dropped, but fair dinkum. How good is Tommy Turbo?
Freddie's gone out on a bit of a limb there, hasn't he? He said, no, this is the way it works. And look, people get dropped, whatever.
Yeah.
Certainly there was a lot of uproar when Latrell didn't get in the side, but I think he's made the right choice there.
Well,
he's brought in Maloney.
Yeah.
And again, Maloney's played the old head.
Yeah.
He steered him around the paddock well. The kicks were right on cue.
Oh,
Just couldn't have been any better, mate.
Sensational stuff. And,
fantastic.
And look, I hope it continues. I hope we all, it doesn't all come back and just do a complete reverse on poor old Freddie and the team. But surely playing at home, they'll be so fired up for
absolutely
it in Sydney. And
weather turned it on a little bit for them over there too, mate. A few little dynamics in the game.
People were asking. Poor old Kalen Ponga was just non-existent.
No.
Non-existent. And look, that's through no fault of his own. He's a dead set dry tracker.
Yeah.
As is the majority of the players, but it didn't seem to affect Tommy Travojevic, who virtually played a second fullback role in the way he ran the ball and was just in the right spot at the right time. He was just outstanding.
The wet track there, mate, at Car. He's taken off at 1,000 mile an hour, like the old Jack Gibson. He can switch the light off and be in bed before it's dark. But he took off there last time through the game there, and he was like a wet 9, like a heavy 9 track, mate. He slowed him right down.
And it didn't affect the New South Welshman boys. So
absolutely
look,
not.
Fingers crossed the boys can get it done for game 3.
Absolutely looking forward to it. So, look, as you can see, guys, we've got a notable omission on the couch tonight, young Reg. Look, he's away receiving a bit of treatment. He's got some issues around his neck, an ongoing neck issue there. Benko, he's been carrying it for a while, and he does all the work behind the scenes here. He does everything. The boys, Benny and Braith there, they help us out and setting up the lights and everything. But by and large, Reggie is the backbone of the Footy Fever team, and he's away at the moment, Benko.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and look, our best wishes with him. I still maintain that he did do the shoulder no harm when he was throwing that Singleton jacket on that you gave him. And when you tried to get it off him, that's when he done
it. Worse.
That's when he done his neck injury.
That's what it was. But seriously,
we all joke, but in all seriousness, we wish him all the very best.
Absolutely, he's away, and it sort of segues a little bit. The man's put his hand up. He needs a bit of help, so he's gone in to get that help, which is great, and sort of segues nicely into the Where There's a Will round that's coming up this weekend. Big game, big lot of football through Scone, Aberdeen, Murrundi, Singleton. Pretty much most of the grounds around the 21 area have been used, Benko. So we're looking forward to that, mate. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on, or we'll go into it now if you want.
Well, I'm easy, Matty.
Let's talk about Where There's a Will.
Yeah.
Fantastic initiative in the Carrigan, Pauline and Hilton Carrigan there. Obviously, a tragedy some years. The 3rd annual Where There's a Will round. It will be held this week. Great work up there. Yeah. Mick Reynolds, the driving force behind that. He gives his heart and soul to the cause. And I tell you, the work they do in the schools, the work they do off the field is absolutely superb, and it's been recognised at an NRL level. There's a lot of people come up, and last year the CEO I think was up there to watch those couple of games. Toddy Greenberg was up there, mate. He had a bit of a look around. Can't be there this year, but certainly sends his apologies for that. But like I say, Daffy Reynolds, the driving force behind that. Pauline and Hilton Carrigan, great work.
And all the boys from the clubs got together on Monday.
The photo shoot?
Yeah, photo shoot. My young fella Brady was in it, and so was a number of other boys. I think Rhino Holman was
James
here
Bradley
from Murrundi, Jimmy Bradley, Stevie Hinchin. I think it's Nathan Berry, the 5'8" from Merriwall.
Yeah, it did look like him.
Yeah, and I think Scone was represented as well, and
Greta Brankston as well.
Greta Brankston was there. And look, great stuff for all of them, and it was the kick-off and the launch for the 3rd annual, as you said, Matty, for the Where There's a Will round, and every year, the best thing about it is that every man and woman to a T gets behind it at every ground, and it's just been a phenomenal support shown for that cause.
Oh, it's taken off. Well, I've got the Where There's a Will shirt on tonight, and I got this last year. I think it was at Aberdeen. I got this. Or that was the round that was being played last year. So look, if you've got nothing to do, and if you've got something to do, get your butts down to Scone Park Saturday. That's where most of the action's going to be. I think there's 36 games being played there.
Too many to count, mate.
They've got the rugby club have graciously moved their senior fixture, Benko. They've moved the fixture just so the Scone club can take over that field and have the young'uns play there. So well done to the Union boys getting on board with that great initiative. So something like 36 games of football is going to be played. Rugby league is going to be played between at the Rugby Union Park, Scone Park itself, and that'll move right through into about, I think first grade kicks off about 20 to 5 Saturday afternoon there, Benko. So a great game of massive area of football.
Won't the Canoe girls be happy?
Wow. They'll be sick of snags and chips by the end of the day, let me assure you. So.
How many hot chips do you reckon they'll be cooking for you?
No, there'll be quite a few, but a great ground, a great club. So make sure you get up there and support that. So on the other news there, Benko, the Greater Northern Tigers Under-16s Ladies League tag.
Yes.
Mate.
And that's what I was
there for us, mate.
Well, that's what I was fiddling with my phone for, Matty, and it is. They're going to play at Glen Innes on the 20th of July. So that'll be the Under-16s Girls League tag. The Greater Northern Tigers representative team's been selected. And look, we've got some very, very talented girls. And I say that because I know a number of these girls through our touch footy, our junior representative team. And
the league,
mate, they're doing sensational. Yeah. And a lot of the young girls have represented Muswellbrook and our surrounding communities in touch footy at state level.
Right.
So, Mackenzie Blackadder from Merriwell, Ruby Bennett from Singleton, Tyler Brown from Scone, Chloe DeGunst from Inverell, Emile Griffiths from Inverell, Casey Corkroger from Armidale, another local girls, Lara Headley from Scone, Matilda Jones from Muswellbrook, Jules Kirkpatrick from Singo, Kiana Lansborough from Armidale, Keziah McLaren from Glen Innes, Tashari Lee Morgan from Inverell. Then you've got three Mussy girls, Muswellbrook girls, Heidi Richards, Toby Stewart and Caitlin Warren, and Emily Watts from Scone, and the coach is Catherine McCulloch. So all the very best of luck to those young girls going to Glen Innes on the 20th of July to represent the Greater Northern Tigers.
Absolutely. I think young Caitlin's from Singleton, but
okay,
might be a bit of a typo, but a good
typo. We'll say you've got to claim her.
A good, well, I'll claim her, right? She's bloody good footballer. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
But look, a great spread across the group there too. From Merriwell, we've got Singleton, we've got Scone represented there. So well done, girls.
Yeah. And just quickly, Matty, I noticed that there's probably 4 or 5 of those girls that have made our regional touch football side as well in the touch footy season last February, March. So. And it's continued. Their ability is just superb. Sensational talent, those girls.
Certainly the skills are transferable into that ladies league tag area. It's a great game and growing in popularity. The Friday night league tag that the junior league run, and well done to them. It's just getting bigger and bigger, Benko. Going back to 12s, I think 12s, 14s and 16s they're playing now.
It's taken off.
It's a great...
All junior sport has been sensational.
It's fantastic, mate. So look, moving through, let's have a look at last week's results there, Benko. Up in the first grade, mate, Scone 36 over Denman 4 and Singleton 30 over Aberdeen 16, mate. What do you make of those two?
Well, I didn't see the Singo game on Sunday, but it was a bit of a shock because I think it was a 22-0 at one stage. I had a little bit of a... I was in transit between Wollongong. I did a Wollongong trip all up and back, down and back in one day, and it was just mental. So... congratulations to Singleton. I think Reggie here last week picked the Singleton victory.
Yeah, good on him.
Well, he might have picked the draw, but I think behind the scenes he really keen on the greyhound boys. And I don't think Jimmy Bradley was back either. So
I think so, mate. I was at work for the weekend, so I didn't. And unfortunately, sorry to the Mixlr people who we were trying to broadcast through to. They had a Mixlr issue over the weekend. I know there's a lot of quite irate people that
Saturday at Denman, we were all getting text messages.
Absolutely.
Where the hell are you? What's going on? Blah blah. But I know Benny was working overtime behind the scenes on the laptop trying to get it going. It was just insane. So unfortunately, it was a network issue, as Reggie clearly pointed out. But I think the game's up on YouTube. I think there was some uploading problems, but I think they're on the bottom of it now. Is that right, Benny?
Yeah.
Give me the thumbs up, mate.
Thumbs up from the cameraman, Benny.
But the Scone-Denman game, we were out there and look...
run us through that one, mate.
That was 38-4. So, look, realistically, when it's all said and done, I thought Scone were going to go and wrap it up 60 blot.
Right.
Because they were entitled to. But to Denman's credit, they dug deep at certain points, and as Bomber Jones clearly pointed out in the first half, they did a lot of defensive work. There was probably 25 minutes of the back end of the first half. It was just all defence. Yeah. Now, they were probably their own worst enemies. A lot of little silly errors in loose carries and what have you, and but I thought that they really dug deep when it mattered. And look, there was a number of really good players. I thought Dylan Thorne's first game for the year, he was sensational. I want to give a couple of raps to some unsung heroes of that Denman side that haven't been getting too many raps. Tommy Mann played his best game for the year in the back row. I thought he was really good. He dug deep. And Jackson Ball, who now has taken over the reins of coach of reserve grade for Denman, and they're really struggling with depth issues and having players available. Jacko played, and he's coaching the side, as I said, but he played a full game in reserve grade, and then he came on the wing in first grade, and Jacko was absolutely brilliant.
He wouldn't have got a place here at all.
Mate, he never stopped.
He's a utility player. I know he's played 9 a lot. Very good at 9.
You know what he did, man? He actually slotted himself in as first receiver a number of times. When Jacob was manning the troops behind the scenes on one side of the ruck, and Jackson Ball came in the second half in particular and started to work just being a pivot role, as did a few other boys. So a big rap to the Denman side. Look, I don't think they're far off a victory. I've got to say, there was 5 regulars, first graders out. And look, Scone, Adam Clydesdale was unbelievable at dummy half. He just knows when to pick his runs, Matt. Nick Watson went off with an injury, I think it was a leg injury. So I hope Nick's okay, because he's just dynamite out wide. Nick, he actually played second row, so I'm used to seeing him in the back line, but he was in second row. He started in the back row because JJ Apthorpe is still out.
I was going to say, I wonder whether JJ played, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but the 3 guys that really stood out for me was certainly Adam Clydesdale. He played a hooking role at dummy half. He just saddled up in dummy half. I thought Jakey Watts was really, really good. And again, off the bench, Jake Collison had a really good game as well. So there was a number of players there that really dug deep. And
been around for a lot of time. Jakey Collison's been around for a long time. He's a junior, coming right through the junior ranks. Been playing really good football.
Yeah, he was named in the Northern Division side in the squad at the start of the year as well.
Well done, well done, Jake.
Anyway.
Mate, moving on to reserve grade, mate. What do we got up there?
Well, we've got in the Reggies, Scone 48 defeated Denman 4, Muswellbrook 10 handed Merriwar their second loss in a row, 8 points. It was keen to have a yarn to Seth Morgan tonight. And Murrundi defeated Greta Brankston 24-12, and Aberdeen defeated Singleton 16-4. So there's some interesting results. And Matty, as I spoke to you briefly, and we did touch on it last week, I reckon this is the most open grade out of the whole 4.
Scores, mate. You said Merriwar on the back, that's their second loss. And the team, Merriwar are strong. Yeah. They are one of the dominant sides, as is the Mavs. Don't worry about them. So, and again, but Mavs got a good win. It would have been nice to have Rhino and Seth here just to get their thoughts on how that's panning out there, boys, and love to get your feedback on the Footy Fever
next week.
Footy Fever Facebook page there, guys, if we got any insights. But certainly the second loss, look, we're not going to call it 2 in a row. No. Like, it's not a trend, but certainly I'm sure the Maggies out there will definitely bounce back this week. They've got quite a big task. They'll be playing Murrundi on Saturday this week. So again, that'd be one great spot to be on Saturday if you weren't at Scone, that is.
It'd be an unbelievable afternoon of football. But the interesting thing, Matt, is that the week before Singo rolled Merriwar, who were previously undefeated, and then last week the Tigers. Touched the Singo guys up 16-4, only a couple of tries in it, but still, what an open competition we have there in reserve grade.
The depth in the England side, you think what's going to go on here? But
mate, I couldn't speak highly enough of Christian Kirby last week. I don't know if Christian played last weekend, but
unsure, mate. I was at work for most of it, but again, the competition's open.
And it's incredible, mate.
You look down there at the reserve grade ladder, Merriwar, Scone and Aberdeen, they're the 3 people on top with, there's already one game ahead on the Merriwar side, but look, we'll see how that pans out this week. In the under-18s though, mate, Denman 22, Scone 20 would have been a cracking match. 18 all Singleton, Aberdeen. I tell you, the 18s, I've always loved the 18s football. I think 18s
we talk about an open competition. Muswellbrook had the bye. But look at that.
That's as close as you get.
Well, Denman scored I think it was their first victory of the season.
Yeah.
Over Scone, albeit by 2 points. But
two must be 200.
I got there just after the game.
Yep.
I got there just as the start of the Reggie's game, and let me tell you, there was a buzz in the air. They were absolutely over the moon, the young...
and as they should be, working
the
hard.
Devil boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And previously undefeated, the Singleton under-18 boys had a draw with
draw. So we'll see what's going on there, but certainly Aberdeen has certainly stuck it to them. The boys have risen to the occasion, and well done to the Aberdeen.
Incredible comp.
Put the teams out there. Ladies league tag, mate, what have we got?
64-0, Scone remain undefeated, and they seem to be blitzing every other contender at this point. They're 64-0 over Denman. Merriwar 16-10 over Muswellbrook. And Singleton 12 defeated Aberdeen Girls 8.
Well, again, you look at the ladies league tag area, Merriwar, normally extremely dominant in that field, mate, but they only 6 points between them and the Rams. The ladies at Muswellbrook certainly putting it in there. Singleton 82 points over Aberdeen. Again, Scone extremely dominant in that field. And Denman, they're struggling, and the ladies out there. But I'll tell you, every game I've seen the ladies play out there, the Devils, they will not stop. They'll go right to the end of the game. They'll still run the ball back. 64-0. They'll still run back.
Well, they don't give up.
They
don't give up.
No, it's fantastic.
The fact of the matter is, like, they love playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
They enjoy playing. Look, it's really easy. They could have just turned it up.
Of course they could.
Turn it up, but they're out there having a go.
But they don't. They have a crack, and look, well done, ladies. And we'll see how Scone do. Look, I've seen sides peak and stay, but I mean, Scone have been up the top for a long time. It'll be interesting to see towards the end of the year as those other sides progress up, and certainly we're in round 8 now, heading into round 9.
Yeah, 9.
We've worked better than halfway through the competition. We'll see how this starts to pan out. So, that's the ladies' league tag. So, moving ahead. So we talked about the where there's a wheel round. Let's have a look at the ladders there, Benko. In first grade, mate, who's up the top there?
Well, undefeated, the Scone Thoroughbreds on 16, and there's a massive gap.
Untouchable.
And at the moment, Aberdeen, with the loss to Singleton last week, they're still holding second spot on 4 and against over the Singleton Greyhounds. And Denman, only 2 points away. So, look, we've got a battle royale for a major semi-final spot. And
this is what this competition is going to come down to: who wants the major semi and who wants to host that grand. That's what, at the moment,
we know. It's probably a fair bet. Scone at this point is going to host the major semi-final.
Yeah.
But it's going to be an absolute humdinger as to who will host the minor semi-final. And more so with that loss to Singo last week by the Tigers.
Yeah.
Now it gets down to a real dogfight as to who's going to face Scone in a major semi-final.
A lot of teams start to settle down in their roster too, so there's not as much churn in a lot of the rosters. You see early in the year, bit of churn in the rosters, players in, players out, injuries coming back in and out, etc. But towards the second half of the competition, I'm expecting to see that roster settle down, and the rhythm start to get in, people start to gel. So certainly,
it'll be interesting, Matty, because I think, perhaps looking at the draw, some of the guys probably would have made arrangements to swap a shift,
absolutely,
or an annual leave day down the track. And as you said, quite correctly pointed out that the way. I'll get one example is Frank Paul. Frank Paul's been, his last couple of weeks has been outstanding.
Very good,
and a lot of the other boys who, once they get into a groove, they know if they're playing this weekend, they might get 2 or 3 games in a row, rather than have to work every second weekend.
And by and large, you would have to say, people on those rosters, Benko, they're going to look towards the second half of the year, aren't they?
Yeah,
absolutely. So then set that up to run that into the finals for sure. Look, in the reserve grade, mate, Merriwar out in front on 14 points, like we said, but they have played one extra game over the June long weekend for the Festival of the Fleeces out there, mate. Scone in 13, Aberdeen 11, listen to those, 14, 13, 11, Muswellbrook 10, Singleton 10. So the top 4 there locked up within 4 points of each other.
It's unbelievable.
Then we run into Murundai on 2 points, but they lost a few points due to a breach. Unfortunately, boys, that's the way the cookie crumbles there. Greater Brankston with 2 Denman yet to put a run on the board. Yeah. We spoke about the competition being open in the reserve grade area. Look at that the top set. You've got 4 teams, 4 points. What's going on with that?
Well, mate, 5 teams within 4 points. Yeah,
you're right too.
And to have a second crack come major semi-time. it is so important, especially in reserve grade. Now, a lot will depend on their first grade availability.
Absolutely.
Because, as we all know, they drag players out of reserve grade. But the interesting thing there is that I do expect Muswellbrook to improve. That's just me. I think that they will go. I reckon they'll finish top 2, but the rest of it, mate, it is a dead set lottery. Absolutely dead set lottery. And on any given day, any one of those 5 and Murrundi. And the Mavs, there's no question the Mavs fully stocked can cause a boil over. And let me tell you, those 5 teams above the Mavs,
look out.
They'll be looking over their shoulder every time they've got to travel up the range.
Well, up the range. I said Merriwell, Murrundi at the range this weekend.
Oh, mate.
Cracking couple of games coming up there, mate.
That's going to be a cracker of a game.
Absolutely. Again, it's a pity we couldn't have had Seth and Rhino here to have it out, sort of muddy at 4 paces. Under 18s, mate.
Singleton on top on 13 points. They had a draw last week for the first time. Muswellbrook on 10, Aberdeen 9, Scone 8 and Denman with that 1 victory last week over the Scone guys.
First of a roll, mate.
They're on 2 points. And look, there's a lot of confidence in the ranks out there at Denman, and they were absolutely, like I said, they were buzzing last Saturday afternoon after the match. They were really positive, so that's great to see.
That's still any man's game there. Again, in the 18s, tight competition again. Singleton 13 down to Scone on 8 in 4th position. Yeah. There's nothing in that. 6 or 7 games to go.
Absolutely.
And we just talked about the scores there a minute ago. A draw. Yeah. Then we got a 2-point game, Denman Scone. Yeah. Look, it's there's nothing in that one, mate. So in the ladies' league tag, we got Scone way out in front again on the 16 points, unbeaten there. Merriwell, they've still got they've also got a game up. Rundo's on 12. Muswellbrook's 10, Singleton 7, Aberdeen 4, and Denman with the 2 points. Yeah. Gonna say the top section of that area, I don't think it's going to change very much, mate.
Well, if you ask me, it'll be a battle for the 4th spot to see who sneaks in between Muswellbrook and Singleton at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's no disrespect to the other teams, and we're more than halfway through the comp at this point in time. So the teams below Muswellbrook in the girls will have to do some hard work. Yep. They've got to do some hard yakka to try and scrape into that 4th spot. But
all extremely capable teams.
There's
no plenty of depth. I know the Singleton team's got a huge amount of depth.
It'll be very interesting. I don't think. Well, what about this weekend's game between the Murrundi girls and the Merriwell girls?
Yeah.
How good is that going to be?
That's going to be.
That is going to be a sensational
Absolutely.
game.
2 versus 3 with 1 point difference.
Oh, mate, it's going to be unreal.
It's going to be fantastic. So, look, the ladders are all sewn up. We've talked about those. Moving on to this week's games, mate.
Yeah. Well, Saturday, as we've briefly touched on, Matty, at 1:30 up at Murrundi, the ladies' league tag kick-off. Both teams, the Murrundi play Merriwell, and at 2:30 in the Reggies, Murrundi play obviously Merriwell. 2 absolutely sensational games, and I reckon Murrundi will have a great crowd up there. And because when Merriwell travel well. They travel well. They a stack of supporters up there, and that'll be on for young and old this week because there's a lot on the line there. There's a lot on the line there with both those games. So good luck to both teams.
It's going to be a great day. And obviously, when everyone travels up to the mountain, foot of the mountain up there, the Murrundi boys always put on a great show. You've got the fire drums out. Everyone's nice and warm.
And one very important thing, Reggie says it's the best risole sandwich in the group.
I'm unsure. They do have to beat the Scone ones. They are superb.
Kay Rudder won't be happy at Singo.
No, she won't.
And a lot of the girls, they won't be happy at all the other grounds. No. But they'll be all doing something to better the Murrundi risole sandwich.
The risole sandwich,
That'll be an infamous sandwich.
Like we spoke about, mate, the Weathers will 3rd annual day will be held at Scone. They'll kick off in the senior league ranks, but I'm sure the junior league ranks, I think, kick off at some ungodly hour about 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning.
It'll be bloody cold.
It'll be the Scone old boys getting the young boys running around there by the end of the day. We'll probably wear a few of them down, so good on you boys. Look, they'll kick off at 1 o'clock. Scone and Muswellbrook, and it's pretty much Scone Muswellbrook for the rest of the day at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3:10. Reggie's, they'll kick off at for 3:10, I said, for Scone and Muswellbrook. 4:40, Scone and Singleton. Now, again, they've had a bit of a run, Singo. They've had 2 on the trot. 2 good wins, 2, I'll say, against the run. They're going to come up against the Premiers at home.
Oh, mate.
Well,
It's a good test for Singer.
It'll be a good one. I'm sure Coach Jai Bailey,
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to him this week. I haven't seen the team, but he has made some changes around the play. Last week he pushed Lukey Gardner back out to the centres.
Yes.
So he's pulled Jay Ferry into the props with
Well, Jay Ferry with not Mick Rinkin.
Frank Paul was in the
Frank Paul was in the front row the week
row.
before against Denman. Well, Lukey Gardner played in the centres against Denman, Matty. And look, Jay Ferry, and I think Schultze touched on it that afternoon. How good Singo were from running, the little men running from dummy half, Brody Rinkin, even Morgan Emity came in from the wing, and Will Newhouse and Tommy Johnson. How can we forget those two legends?
And I liken Tommy Johnson to Cook in there. The way he jumps and addresses and stands people up square too. Tommy Johnson's the best.
Well, everything, like Schultze said, everything was on the back of the big boppers in the front row, taking the ball forward and getting that roll against Denman. They'll want to be good at it because Scone's defence, we touched on it last week, Bomber and I spoke about it at Denman. Scone, right up to the 79th minute, Matty, their line speed in their defensive line is just sensational. To a man, they've got this real drive and hunger about it. They don't want to let anyone score. And even though Denman scored last week, the lone try, I reckon Aaron Watts would have been spewing for letting one try.
Oh, as any coach, but it doesn't matter. The goal's always zero.
Absolutely.
In whichever way you look at it. So that will be a good match. Unfortunately, at 4:40 up at Scone could be a tough ask for a few of the Singo boys to travel. And I'm sure there'll be a good crowd. There'll be a great crowd up there with the Muswell crowd, and Singo will tag on the end of it, mate.
Well, they want to repeat the effort that they put in against Aberdeen.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And anything less,
It'll be a
don't think
test.
Jai will be impressed with. But this is a big test for the Singleton boys. Absolutely.
Good test for the boys, absolutely. So we haven't seen the roster come out yet, but I'm not sure the JHA's back in for Scone. I think he's still out for another week, as the sources tell me. But we'll see how that'll pans out on Sunday. Still got a few games there, Benko?
Okay, at Aberdeen at 10:20 the ladies' league tag. All the games of the Tigers versus the Devils. 10:20 the ladies' league tag kick off. 11:20 the 18s. 12:30 the Reggies reserve grade, and at 2 p.m. the first grade play. So Aberdeen play Denman across the board. Look, the first grade game is going to be an absolute great game. Look, a lot will depend on availability from both sides.
Of course it will.
And I know Big Fitzy was here a few weeks ago. He spoke very similar to what the issues with shift work. And it's across the board. There's no need to, it's nothing new for people. We all understand that.
We work around it.
But Aberdeen will be stinging from that loss to Singapore.
Oh, they'll be absolutely very, very quickly.
Mate, they'll be spewing from that, and let me tell you, there'll be some. I'd say some truths would come out this week at training. They will want to. They will want to bury Denman. I can give you the tip.
Bit of paint off the walls in the training room there.
No question.
Round out the weekend, the weather's a wheel round, mate. It's at Singo on Sunday.
Yep. We've
got 11:30 be at Singo versus Greater Brankston.
Yeah.
So that'll round out round 9. Again, important round for a lot of clubs, Benko.
Yep.
A great. Hopefully, the weather this weekend's supposed to be fairly hot, and well, I say hot in terms of football, but fairly good for the where there's a wheel round. Mate, that pretty much rounds out what we've got. We've got a holiday coaching clinic at Murrundi in the school holidays for kids aged 5 to 12. That's $40. $40 a throw there for the 5 to 12-year-olds, Benko.
Yeah.
And what time does it start there?
9:30 till 12:30. And look, it was on the Group 21 Facebook page.
Was it?
So, it still is. And if you need to know more information, you can visit leaguestars.com. So that's a good initiative for kids who want to, just have a bit of a run around, a bit of a coaching clinic, learn the game, learn some new skills, and what else is there to do? Better off being outside than mucking around on your computers. And
good it's got up to Murrundi too. They generally hover closer to the closer to the coast there. Yeah. Murrundi, a great spot up there, great ground. I'm sure they'll have a ball there, Benko. So
we're doing the game on Sunday, I think, at Aberdeen.
At Aberdeen.
Yeah, I'm not not 100% sure if we're doing a Scone game.
No.
I don't think we are.
Scone's out this weekend.
Yeah, there's still some issues with getting access to the top of the canteen, but that's going to work itself out. We're assured before the semi-finals kick off, so that'll be good. But we'll be definitely out there at Denman at Aberdeen on Sunday, to host to call the Tigers game. I think yourself and I
think we are.
We'll be up there
on Sunday
doing that game, Aberdeen against Denman Devils.
Yeah, that'll be a fantastic thing. So look, got nothing better to do, boys. Let's get out and support the Weathers a Will round. Fantastic initiative up there, the third annual one up at the Scone ground. 36 games of rugby league being played on one day. That's got to be a record.
Get there early if you want to park.
That's got to be a record. You may as well park up at McDonald's, I think, and walk in might be a better thing. But I wish them all the best. I hope it's a great day.
It'll be brilliant to see, mate.
Pauline Hilton Carrigan, fantastic. Mick Reynolds, the driver behind there, Daffy.
Work.
It'll be a great thing. Get up there and get some merch. They'll have plenty of it. They'll have hats, they'll have shirts. It's a great thing. And again,
I just want to jump in, Matty.
Yeah,
Bengalla was involved in that launch as well. Yeah,
sure.
And remiss of me to not mention that earlier, but I did notice the spread in the Chronicle with Fiona Harton.
Of course it was.
She's the coordinator of the Bengalla community support team, and of course the general manager Cam Halfpenny, who is a great guy, and to Bengalla in general, not only do they support Group 21,
but that particular initiative.
This initiative is just fantastic, and well done to the Bengalla crew.
I think most of the clubs, they're a special Guernsey, and if you visit the Footy Fever page or the Group 21 Facebook page, you'll see all the guys. They've got the Weathers a Will logo on the Guernseys. They're a fantastic.
And Guernsey. The socks,
get a pair of those. But I think that most of the clubs auction those off.
Yeah.
After it, most of those proceeds then obviously go to the Weathers a Will Foundation.
Yep.
So if you're in the area, you got a few bucks to spare, I'm sure you can enjoy a couple of frothies there, mate, and loosen up the old wallet. What do you reckon, mate?
Oh, well, it's a given.
Get out there. Look, that's all we got time for this week, folks, on the Footy Fever on the couch. Hopefully, Reggie, get well soon, mate. We'll, again, fantastic putting a hand up, reaching out, getting some help. Well done, buddy.
And we'll all see you all next week.
Hopefully we'll see you next week with a couple of other boys. See who we can drag in. I'm not sure who's going to be in next week, but we'll drag someone by the collar.
We'll find someone
except a couple of these ugly mugs, and we'll see you next week on the couch.
All the best.